Well, let's go, let's go, let's go. It's go time, y'all. I got so much good for you. I'm so stoked. I'm so pumped. I'm so inspired. I'm so sick and tired of some things that I've been seeing. I'm so overwhelmed with emotion by different things that have been transpiring. I'm so grateful for things that are happening in my life. I'm just excited to come on here and talk to you and share some things with you. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Our topic for today is don't compromise. Don't compromise. So let me know where you're tuning in from. I'd love to engage with you. I'd love to know who is here live. I know some of the platforms they don't allow you. It doesn't show me on StreamYard that you're communicating, but I know on Instagram's good, LinkedIn and Facebook are good. Some of the other platforms, I will have to see your comments, your questions, your remarks, your interactions afterwards. But I want to talk about don't compromise. I'm going to get into TEDx. I'm going to get into some coaching, some speaking. And I think it's going to be a very valuable. So what's up, Paris? What's up, Lawrence? Good to see you. What's up, Sam? Okay, so I got three specific things, right? It's the speaker thing. Scottsdale, Arizona, baby, in the house. Love that. Love that. Um, don't compromise. Okay, so right now my intention is to share three areas, but this is a little bit of a vent, and I think it's going to be a good and a helpful one. Okay, and a necessary in a past due vent from distance. Okay, so the first area I don't want you to compromise in is in your speaking, in your message, and I want to highlight some frustrations and some things that have been coming up around TEDx, right? Like, so those of you who don't know, I'm a two-time TEDx speaker. I also have played numerous of roles of helping people to do TEDx talks at the highest level. I'm a license holder of a event called TEDx Alexander Park that's in Metro Atlanta. And so I have a lot of wisdom in the TEDx culture and what it takes to get on stage and what it takes to do it at a high level. And man, I can't tell you over the last 5 years or so since I've coached TEDx speakers. I've always coached speakers, but since the last 4 years, um, really being able to help people craft narratives, not just for that stage, but beyond that, right? Their messages as speakers, as leaders. And man, so many people have approached me, companies, organizations, coaching communities around like being a TEDx coach to their clients in their community or a speaker coach in their community, that type of thing. And man, there's so much confusion around what is a TED Talk, what are the guidelines, how is it helpful, when is the right time. And I want to just speak to some of the common questions that are coming up. And again, if you've got some in real time, let me know. And again, this is just one of our topics. I also want to get to two other areas that I think is important for your life and your business, regardless of if you're interested in TEDx or not. So like this ain't for me, TEDx, like just stick around because I want to talk about two other areas not to compromise in that I think is beneficial to anybody, whether you're a speaker or not. So one of the common misconceptions is that the TEDx stage is there to make you, right? Like, there's so much marketing around. Like, once you get on the TEDx stage, you'll be known as the go-to person in your niche, and like all this stuff. And like, can that happen for you? Yes, but is that kind? I'm gonna tell you, it's not. So 76% of all TEDx speakers don't have more than 1,000 views on their talk. I know the companies that can place you in 30 days don't want you to know this, but like 76% of all TEDx speakers don't have over 1,000 views. So if you think that, oh, I pay all this money to get all this coaching, they're gonna help me, and then I'm gonna like be viral, like no, like like 76% of people are only going to have 1,000 views or less. Now, again, the reason, like, I always ask the question of why, right? Like, because they're probably doing average level results, but they're making very common mistakes that I see a lot of people making. Number one, they think that just being on the platform is going to bring them this visibility. Now, are there people who got lucky and their talk got published at the right time with the right amount of shares, with the right title and the right, like, yeah, maybe they caught fire and got, couple of tens of thousands, but no message lives beyond like a couple of thousand views that isn't actually impacting someone's life. And again, I'm talking from an organic strategy. I'm not talking about running ads or none of these like other paid strategies. I'm talking about like real results, helping real people. And because your talk is helping people, they pass it on to other people. always tell people that the best marketing tool for a viral TEDx speech is a great speech. And I know people don't want to tell you that, but I'm telling you, I've watched people who've done their TED Talks and they're like, I did the thing, I accomplished it, check off my bucket list. And then people are watching their talk and they're like not passing it on. They don't share with anyone else. I tell you why, because it wasn't that good. Okay. I hate to be the one to tell you that. It just wasn't that great. Great job. Glad you did it. Glad it checked it off your bucket list, but you didn't actually spread an idea worth spreading. You didn't actually deliver a talk that was world class. You just kind of did it so you can call yourself a TEDx speaker. Good for you, bad for the brand, bad for the platform. So number one is just like, no, like, don't compromise on your message. Don't settle for getting booked in 30 days just because you can get the stage. Don't do it because your friend invited you to speak. If they don't have a true way to help you to actually do what is a true TED Talk, like, don't just do it just to do it. If you're going to do it at the highest level. TED is like the Olympics when it comes to speaking. So it's just like, don't compromise that message. Don't settle for something that's less than your best. Don't do it. There's so many people who are just doing it just to do it. And I'm like, yo, you're wasting your time, your energy, your effort. You're going to be disappointed. You're going to be discouraged. Like, you got to actually have a true idea that's going to spread on that culture, y'all. And man, like, it is a sobering conversation, to be honest, with where you're really at on that. Like, it just is. Like, it's challenging when you get so much feedback from so many other people that what you say is amazing, but inside of that platform of TEDx, it's they're not playing by the same rules. They're not assessing or looking at your message through the same lens. And so if you're just going to go and do your standard keynote presentation, you're just going to go and do the thing that you've done, or you're going to do the thing that your peers even say that's cool for you to do, just know that it doesn't necessarily produce the results that you're looking for, because you're compromising your message in order to do something that other people are applauding you for. And man, I'm just telling you, I've seen too many people do it. Like, friends of mine, like, legit, where I'm like, man, you gotta let me coach you. And they're like, oh, I already did TED Talk. I'm like, okay, cool. I go watch. I'm like, that wasn't a TED Talk. That was a talk on TED. So don't compromise that. So that's a common thing. Let me say something about this: get placed in 30 days and 60 days and 90 days and all this. Like, just get on the platform. Like, y'all, like, don't fall for that junk either. Like, if I told you you can run in the Olympics in a year instead of prepare for 4, just because you can doesn't mean you should. Like, there's a reason why they put 4 years in between the Olympics, right? Like, people are training, they in the lab, they preparing 4 years for one race, for one competition. It's because it takes that long to bring out your best. And these 30-day, 60-day, 90-day placement people will just give you a couple of tips, tell you to read Talk 10 and put you on the stage. Like, it's cheapening the brand of the platform. And I'm telling you, it's like the results are trash. And so don't drink the Kool-Aid, don't fall for it, don't compromise your message. Can I tell you, just because you can microwave your message don't mean you should. Put that baby in the crock pot. Let that thing stew for 6-9 months. Work on it. Get iterations of it. Go deeper. Do research. Get feedback. Like, be in the lab of your message. Like, train for the Olympics. Train for the TED platform. Like, train for it so that when you get it up there, you give your best display of everything that's in you, not your best effort at the shallowness message that you choose to display on that platform. So that's kind of my 2 cents on TEDx. All right. What's up, Chauncey? What's up, Hakeem? What's up, Grace? Paul Peep? What's up, bro? So the first area, and there's lots I can say about that too. So we talked about 30 days. We talked about just doing it just to do it. We talked about trying to, the other thing is, like I said, that it doesn't make you, right. Like, and I said it can have that effect, but if you're waiting for the stage to make you, you're probably trying to do some level of self-promotion on the platform. That's one of the things that violates the guideline, right? Like, the TED platform is not for you to promote your product, your service, your brand. Like, will you get visibility inevitably? Yes. But is that the intention? Is that how we shape the ideas? Like, no, right? Like, most of these people probably never even told you that, like, you can't, like, one of the things that I was told from a TED staff member was like, hey man, if people's talks and their ideas can be communicated without mentioning their product, their service, and their brand or organization, then eliminate the mention of their brand, their products, their service, or their organization, because it doesn't actually support the receptivity of their idea. Okay. Now, if their idea cannot be communicated without mentioning, referencing, explaining their brand, their product, their service, their organization, then it's permissible. It's all about intention, y'all. And intention is very easy to sniff out. You can tell when somebody intends to sell you and when somebody's not intending to sell you. You can tell when somebody's looking to get something from you and when somebody's not looking to get something from you. You can tell when somebody's sincere in an apology and when somebody's not sincere in an apology. Intention is very easy to discern for people that are looking to discern it. And so be mindful of that, right? If your intention is to promote your thing, it's going to get snuffed out. You might get through and find a way to get published, but ultimately it's going to fall flat. Okay. So those are some areas that I would recommend not compromising in TEDx. And again, this is not a direct shot at anybody or any organization that's coaching in a different way. This is just me being in conversations and people like ultimately being like, oh man, can you guarantee my people placement in 30 days? And I'm like, no. Why would I want to do that? I don't want to do that. Find somebody else to do that. I'm not going to do that. Like, it just doesn't make sense because it's not like, y'all understand, like, I respect the platform. Like, TED changed my life in a lot of ways. It gave me an opportunity to express the message and to gain awareness around something that was extremely passionate to me. It helped me to put my skills as a speaker, my vulnerability as a human on display in a very big way. And it allowed me to show people my skill to be able to craft a story and help other people to do the same. And so I have a high level of respect for the platform. It's one of the reasons why I choose to organize every year, even though it's like super costly and time consuming. It's a nonprofit volunteer initiative. It takes a lot of work and effort, and I could run a paid conference that's bigger and quote unquote better, but I feel called, at least in previous seasons and the upcoming ones, to host that event because I honor the platform and what it can do for people. And so, man, like, if you're going to step on the platform, do it in a way that's aligned, that respects the guidelines, do an actual talk, or just don't do it at all. Like, you don't need it to be a speaker. Like, you don't need it at all. I was a speaker way before I had a TEDx talk. So you don't need one to be a speaker. I'm sorry if somebody told you that you need a book, that you need a TED talk before you become a speaker. It's not true. You don't need it. It can help in the process, but you dang sure don't need it. I don't care what they tell you. All right. So let me move on because I want to get to these other 2 points. So I talked about don't compromise in your speaking, your message, TEDx. I want to talk about don't compromise in the advice that you're following. Man, this is a big one, y'all. You ever hear the concept of the blind leading the blind? I tell people, don't take advice from someone whose results you don't want to duplicate. Now, I learned this early on in my immaturity of being mentored. I expected to gain everything, guidance from every area of my life from one person. I wanted my mentor to be my pastor, my financial advisor, my business coach, my marriage coach, my health coach, all areas of life. And could he speak to those areas? Yes. But was he an expert in each one of those areas? Absolutely not. And I had to learn how to go. It was like, once I realized, like, you know what? Like, he's got a lot of good things to say about finances, but I don't want his level of financial result. So I probably shouldn't follow his financial advice. Now, y'all, you might be listening to me and be like, duh, Daryl, duh. But can I be honest with you? I've had so many conversations. I watch so many people take advice from their friends who are not experts at the thing that they're asking for advice from. Now, everybody can give you a perspective. You can learn something from anybody on this planet. I don't care what their status is. I've learned things from homeless people before. I learned things from people with records and just fresh out of the prison system. So you can learn anything from anybody. But if you're looking to create a level of consistent results in your life, I would not recommend you following advice from someone whose results you don't want to duplicate. If you don't want to have their marriage and in the quality and the connection they have in their marriage, don't take a marriage advice from them. If you don't want to have a level of their success in speaking, then don't take their advice. If you don't want to have the level of results that they had in their TEDx talk, then don't take their advice. If you don't want to duplicate their level of emotional intelligence and awareness, then don't ask them questions about your emotional health and well-being. Only take advice from people whose results you are wanting to duplicate. It's simple. And I think it's as simple as it is, it can be challenging because nobody wants to tell somebody that they love that they actually don't need their advice or don't desire their advice. Especially when we built a habit of taking advice from so many different people. Oh, they said do this, or they said do this, or they said do this, or they said do this. And it's like all this confusion that we're breeding versus like, yo, I'm going to trust these experts that are in my corner in order to advise me because I want to duplicate their results. Oh man, I've seen so many people make the wrong decision. So don't compromise in the advice that you're following. Okay, so number one, don't compromise in your speaking, your message, your TEDx. Number two, don't compromise in the advice that you're receiving. And the third area, number three, don't compromise on what's in your heart to do. Don't compromise on what's in your heart to do. I don't know, man. There's so much opportunity right now. There's so much happening in our world. It's funny because I hear the echoes of so much fear, uncertainty, political season. I get it. Scaling. I've heard a lot of conversations that, when you dig into the depths of them, you can tell that people are still making pivots from the awakening that they experienced during the pandemic or the pivots that they're making since the pandemic or how the pandemic caused them to pivot. And now they're living in the, the actions of the decisions that they had to make from that year. And the theme of it is like they're becoming more aligned. They're choosing to follow dreams that have been in their heart to do for a long time. They are getting out of toxic relationships. They're setting better boundaries. Like so much good is happening in their life. And as they align to, and man, I just say that to validate that if you feel that in your heart, in your mind, if you are like, man, I'm speaking, I'm writing, I'm authoring, I'm coaching. What's up, Lauren? What's up, Coach Matt? What's up, Riley? Like I'm doing all of these things and I still have so much in my heart. I still have another book I know I want to release. I still got this podcast I want to get up off the ground. I still have this level of my skill that I want to get in the lab and refine my skill like I have. And I just want to tell you, don't compromise, don't settle, don't shrink, don't shorten. Like it's hard, it's heavy. It seems like there's a lot on your plate right now. But man, is that my mic making that noise? Let me know if y'all got getting interference. It's like definitely interference on my end. So anyways, don't compromise, don't shrink, don't settle just because you're a little overwhelmed, just because it feels like you're still growing into the success you're having in this current season. Keep expanding. Keep surrounding yourself around eagles. Get around people who are helping you to stretch your wings. Everyone says that, y'all. Everyone says it. But there's a level of holding yourself accountable to that truth. Who are you actually surrounding yourself with? Who are you actually taking advice from? Is their life, the vibration of their life, the quality of their life, both business and internally, relationally, is that something you desire? Is that something you want? And if it's not, then stop it. Distance yourself. Less communication with those people that are not aligned with where you're going, and more communication with the people who are aligned for where you're going. So that's my message for you, is don't compromise, specifically in your message, your speaking, your TEDx process. Don't compromise in the advice that you're following from other people. Only take advice from people whose results you are willing to duplicate. And number three, don't compromise with the dreams that are in your heart. Okay. I believe if you do that, that's how you develop. Remember, development happens every day, not in a day. All right. For those of you who don't know, we host transformational events for speakers every month, at least in this season. Our next one is this Saturday. We have a couple of spots left. I think, I don't know, 4, 6, maybe more than that. There's a couple cancellations. So either way, if you want to make it out, it's not too late. You know, you can catch a flight, you can come on over, get it in. We're talking about clarity in your vision, clarity in your marketing, clarity in your monetization. Okay, so those are the 3 areas that we're taking our speakers through this Saturday. So if you feel like, man, I've got some vision clarity, I've got some marketing gaps to kind of shore up, and I have some monetization gaps or involvements that I want to clarify, step into, gain confidence around, coaching around, come on out this Saturday in Franklin, Tennessee. There's not a virtual option, so please don't ask me. But if you're interested in these events, but you're like, dang, Daryl, I can't swing it this Saturday, make sure you still comment the word event so that you get on the notification list for, or that you get the information of the date that we already have set for November. I don't know it off the top of my head right now, but we got that date coming up in November. So don't compromise in those 3 areas. Register for the event if you're interested in that. And y'all, I love you. I'll see you on the next stream. Peace.